Hi everyone, hope you're all having a great day. Artstudio Pro has just released a new version. It's got a really cool feature in it, a reference image. There's lots of bug fixes and things and other features, but the one that really took my imagination, the one I really like, is the reference image. So let's have a look at that. What I'm going to do, I want to show you this new feature in Artstudio Pro. It's called a reference image. Now, usually I'm not big into reference images in apps. I like to put them on a different screen, but this one is a little bit different. So let's have a look at it. If I choose View and then Reference View, I can choose a size that I want my reference image to be. So I'm going to choose medium. I've already had a play around with this and I think that medium's a good size. So I've got an image loaded up, and if I put my finger on the top of the image, it moves around. I can move the reference. If I move it inside, or put my finger inside the image, you can see it moves the reference. So that's one thing to be aware of. Put your finger on the top, you can move the reference image. So how do I load a new image? I tap the reference window and it comes up with a load option. I touch that and then I can go to wherever and choose the image that I want to use. So I've used a portrait image so that you can see it actually resizes the reference window for you. Now, why do I like this so much? First of all, because it's touch screen. You don't have to sort of touch the corner and drag and things. Oh, oops. You can just do it with your fingers, so that's great. But the thing I really like about this is the fact that I can zoom in by pinching and zooming out again, and I can rotate to get right into that detail. So a feature I really like. Not seen that before in any other app, and that's why I usually split the screen and put a photo at the side of the screen so I can zoom in the same way as this. But now I've got the option of moving my reference photo wherever I like. So this for me is a big plus for Artstudio Pro. Now, how do I select colour? It took me a while. You can choose colours off your reference image. Now, I don't particularly hold with that too much because it doesn't get you into the habit of working out how to choose colours yourself or mix colours. But to do it, I found that if I tried to put my finger on the screen, nothing happened. Put my stylus on the screen, nothing happened. If I choose the colour picker, I thought that would have worked straight away, but it doesn't. So it took me a while to get around this. What you do, if I choose the paintbrush, if you just put your finger anywhere on the canvas, you get this little crosshair cursor coming up, and then you can move it over the screen to pick a colour. And there we go. So that's how you can select colours with a reference. So having said that, I thought I'd have a little go at doing this painting using the reference window. So let's get into it and see how we get on. So I thought I would use just one brush for this one and try out another brush. So I'm using the Rough Acrylic brush. If you want to have a go at this, not used this brush before, so that's a little bit of experiment. But what this painting really is all about is just using that reference image and see if it gets in the way, how effective it is, and how responsive it is to resizing and so on. And I can tell you straight away, because I'm doing this voiceover after the painting, I've obviously speeded it up now. It is superb. It is just excellent. It's just so quick, responds to the touch straight away, and it has definitely been the best experience I've had at painting using a reference image built in the app. So big plus for Artstudio Pro. It might even mean that this is the app that's going to be my default painting app now, because it's so good. I can't recommend it enough. And you know, I've got to say, Artstudio Pro, there's no affiliate here. I'm not getting paid to say this. I just really like it. Although he did actually give me the software. I say he, it might be she, I don't know. The developer gave me a key to unlock the software for free. That was quite a few versions ago, and I've not sort of been in contact with them since then, really. So other than to sort of like each other's comments and things on Twitter and Instagram and so on. So there's no affiliate connection there at all. This is just my view. So the acrylic brush, the rough acrylic brush, I really like it. It is definitely very rough. You can see all the brush strokes. If you make the brush really large, you get this sort of smudgy, wet look about it. And then you can sort of shrink it down to much finer lines. It's quite opaque. I set the eraser and the smudge tool to the same brush, the rough acrylic. And I'm using the wet paint feature as well. So that's the old setup for this. I have to say that this reference image, another cool feature about it is you can sort of enlarge the reference in the window to the very accurate size, and then reform your painting, or resize your painting, to fit the same size, and put them side by side. And it's really easy to then sort of get a very close reproduction, or copy something if you like, because it's right next to you. You don't have to keep looking away or to the side of you. It does make for sort of being able to observe the painting and the reference image together side by side, which is another feature I really liked. Another thing I want to ask is, you'll notice on the right hand side I've recorded my iPad and actual what do you call it, the actual process of me drawing and using fingers to sort of resize things and what have you. Is that distracting or is it helpful? I'd like to know what you think about that, because I could start to add this little bit of a thumbnail video in the corner of the videos when I'm using the iPad, so that you can see what I'm doing, because the iPad screen doesn't fill the full screen that you would be watching this at on YouTube. So I've got a little bit of real estate at the side of the video, and I've been putting videos of me in there, but this to me, I think, seems to be a lot more useful, because you can see exactly what I'm doing. So if you think that would be something that I should keep doing, just drop a comment below, and that will help me out to decide whether I'm going to keep doing that or not. So I used the color picker off the photograph by sort of touching the screen and then sliding up to the photo and choosing the color, just to get me started. But after a while, I then started to select the colors off of the canvas that I was working on. So because it is quite a process to sort of touch the canvas and then move your finger right the way across to the reference image and select the color. So I wanted to add some other colors in as well that weren't in the photograph, but just to get me going, I thought I would try it out, and I did use that. and it worked very well. I did feel that the colours that I was putting on the screen were just a little bit darker perhaps than the actual photograph, but that might just be me. I don't know. If you get to try it out, I'd like to know what you think about that as well. Do you think the same? But most of the time I was just holding the stylus on the screen to select colour. Here we go. This is what I was talking about earlier, where you can put something side by side. So I've got the reference image zoomed in on that wall, and I've enlarged the canvas so I can see the wall. Pretty much, the scale's not quite the same, but it really does help me sort of pick out the detail. And when I say detail, I say that with inverted commas because, you know, I'm not big on detail. And I did start off thinking I would make this probably, I put a bit more detail in this than I normally do. And you can see here, I'm sort of trying to put the lines in of the stone wall and get the perspective in and everything. And you'll see as I'm painting, I get fed up with that really quick. I put a few in, and then I kind of speed the process up, and I'm thinking, hang on, that's not right. Hang on, let me just tweak that a bit. Oh, let's just get loads of colour on here and get it done, because I'm messing about now, and I can't be faffing with all that detail, man. I just want to get it done. So I kind of started off with the intentions of it being a really detailed painting. Well, not really detailed, but, you know, a reasonable amount of detail in. And I very quickly, at this point, you can see, look, now I've totally lost it, and I'm just scrubbing in colour really quick to get the effect of this wall, and just leaving a few of the lines in to give you the perspective, as it were. So I guess detail's just not my bag. I'm just not into it. If I'm really in the mood, I can do it, and you'll see there's a few videos on there where I'm working in detail. But most of the time, I just I don't want to. And you see on the left-hand side, the wall, or these, I don't know what you call them, these arches on the left-hand side, I don't put in even half the detail that I've got on the ones on the right-hand side, and they haven't got a lot of detail in. So it turned out to be a loose brush, a loose painting. I think a lot of that might be down to the brush, because I was loving the brush strokes that I was getting with this rough acrylic brush. And it's interesting, when I've finished a painting, I always have a look at the painting on a large monitor. My monitor, I don't know, it's about 27 inch by something. So it kind of, I can see the painting pretty much at full size, what it would print out at. So I load it onto onto this monitor and see what it looks like. And I put this painting on, and I thought, oh, that looks great. That looks so painterly. I can see all these brush strokes, and I don't need to faff around with it. So, some brushes, I look at the painting after it's finished and think, oh, it just looks so unfinished. It's clumsy, and it needs tightening up and more work. With these sort of looser brushes, you don't need to do that, because you've got this kind of brush stroke that adds to the finished piece. So love the brush as well. So 2 big pluses for Artstudio Pro today. I love this rough acrylic brush, and I'm loving the reference window, the way I can zoom in on that person to get them painted in. The actual character painting went really easy. Sometimes I struggle doing the characters, but because I could sort of get them side by side, it did make it a lot easier for me to get that in. But I did think that I'd sort of put the person, the tourist. This painting is called The Tourist, by the way. I did feel that I'd got her right under the window, and I just wanted to move her over to the right. I actually had a chat with this lady. She was really nice, and she got a walking stick, but I'm not shown that in the painting. And she was telling me a little bit of history about the Abbey. This is Whitby, the Abbey at Whitby, and she knew a little bit about it. So that was nice. And then I took this photo of her for this painting. I created a new layer there, set the blend mode to multiply so I could add some nice dark shadows into it. Got it signed, and I think I then went back into the layer underneath the multiply layer. That was it. I just felt her head was a little bit on a large size, so I just sort of tidied that up a little bit. And there we go. That is a painting of Whitby Abbey with a tourist, painted using a reference with the new reference tool in Artstudio Pro, and I cannot recommend that enough. Hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, big thumbs up as always is much appreciated. And if you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing, because I've got lots of videos like this and I would love to be sharing them with you. So hopefully I'll see you all in the next one. Bye!